Hi, I'm Darrin Cook of Big Stick Combat. Today I'd like to talk about the push dagger. I did a video on this one earlier. This is the Cold Steel Urban Pal. Now admittedly this is a small one, but I think they make, I think it's a Street Pal, and of course there are other makers of push daggers. Some places they're illegal, so you got to consult your local laws. I originally had conceived of this little knife as a neck knife, but I noticed the problem here is that when you go to grab it, the hand is in an awkward position. It's not very ergonomic, so I realized that's not going to work. If you remember what I said, a problem with a knife, a straight knife at the hip, is that you have to cant the hand to get it to get a grip on it. But notice, here's interesting. This is what happens when I put the push dagger here at the waist. It could be in the change pocket or it could be at the belt. Notice now when I draw, this wrist is very straight. As I draw it, that's a very powerful move right there. Now the push dagger, there's no folding parts, there's no hinge, so you don't have to open it. And because this blade is in line with the forearm, it's a very strong movement. Also, you have to think about how you're going to weaponize your moves. So if my moves are basically I'm punching and I get a straight knife, like a butter knife, imagine, or a Bowie knife, every time I punch, I'm not cutting. So to cut, I got to use a different move. If on the other hand, if I'm using hammer fist, this is a typical move, and I have a blade sticking out, well, now I can do the hammer fist empty-handed. Now I can do the hammer fist with that knife, or that ice pick, or screwdriver, or pencil. Now here's another, so as I want to say is, if you do a lot of punching, say you're a Wing Chun stylist, or you're very punch prone, the push knife, or the push dagger, is probably the ideal way to weaponize it. Now you're doing the same movements, you're doing the same punching, trapping, straight blast, and Wing Chun, but now with a weapon in your hands, same move, but you've augmented your power. One last thing I want to mention, kind of an interesting idea with the push dagger, is I notice here I can open my hand without losing that knife. So I can hit, or particularly I can grab, or essentially I can get a hand on another weapon. So now I've got this weapon here that I can use. So I can still thrust and cut with this. I can still swing with this weapon. That weapon could be a longer stick as well. So the push dagger I particularly recommend for a waist carry, a change pocket carry, for those who are doing punching styles, and also as a means to kind of get the double whammy, where you're both using, say, an impact weapon and still have the option of a cutting or thrusting weapon at the same time. One last thing I was going to add is talking about weaponizing moves. Rory Miller has a move he calls a Cape of Dracula. His defense is something like this, where he's moving in with the elbow, and this is his cover. Well, if you had this little knife, or a knife like it, on an epaulette, imagine you have a strap that comes down on the shoulder. If you had it mounted like this, it would be relatively easy for you to do the move, access the knife in your arm. So the push dagger, something for you to think about.